Well, welcome back to episode 3 of the Harmony Outdoor Podcast. Got a pretty interesting topic we got going today. We've kind of been discussing it, but I guess first let me back up for those of y'all that are not watching on YouTube. So we'll have myself and Mr. Brett back today, and also Mr. Horton. We got all three of us back on, so all three of us be joining in together today while we talk about the episode. I'm pretty excited about this one. So
yeah,
a lot of good stuff coming.
Kind of had this one on my mind all night last night. Just some of the things we were going to chat about. So pretty excited about it too.
Yeah. Horton's he's in the vehicle coming in on the phone. We're trying out a new system right now to where we can try to incorporate other people into our podcast, because we got some pretty interesting stuff that we've been talking about here recently about getting some different guests and stuff on. So with that being said, we kind of wanted to bridge over into what we want the podcast to be about and the things that we want to bring to the table, to where we stand out a little bit different than most of the others. So Brett, why don't you tell them some of the stuff we got coming down the line?
So yeah, real quick, just want to discuss kind of the forecast of where we're going to go with the podcast. I know we kind of did a little bit of an intro in our first episode, and then me and Brandon kind of talked about some reflections of the past deer season. But we really want everybody that listens to get involved, and especially people who have supported us from the very beginning, bought calls from us, and have had success. So we want you guys to get involved, whether that's, commenting, emailing us, harmonygamecalls@gmail.com. You can get in touch with us there. I would prefer that, not on social media type stuff. Really the best way to get in touch with us, because we all three monitor it, is the email. So, again, harmonygamecalls@gmail.com. Send us your information there, talk about your success with the calls, things like that, and we'd like to have you on the show. I think it would be a lot of fun to go over your story and hear from you guys. So that's pretty much the forecast of where we want to go with this. We got some guest speakers coming on. I think it's going to be, is it Ethan? What's his full name, Brandon?
Ethan Floyd. Yeah, he's a local guy. He's a fellow firefighter, so me and Hunter know him. Brett's obviously we've met up in turkey camp, and he's a hoot of a good time. He's a little bit younger than we are, but obviously he was a supporter of the company pretty early on. He's bought everything from turkey calls to grunt calls. So, but anyhow, he's had particularly, I'm pretty sure 3 or maybe 4 different scenarios to where our grunt call, and we're going to talk about our grunt call this right now, because that's kind of what's in season or fixing to be in season. But anyhow, he said he's got 3 or 4 success stories that he's got with our grunt call, and again, what we're trying to get out of this is for, even though we know him and he's an acquaintance of ours or a buddy, whatever you want to call it, like, it's third party information, and we're not, telling him what to say or, just blow us up about how good a grunt call is. He's going to give you good, honest feedback, and what he truly feels about, his success with our stuff. So really looking forward to that. But yeah, he's going to be number one, and hopefully what we can do is get some other folks to get on here and start sharing their success stories too. And we're going to be calling that what is it? We're going to be calling the payoff.
The payoff, yeah.
The
people
payoff.
that have kind of, again, been there since the beginning, and even if you haven't, even if you just recently purchased something from us, it's kind of a buy-in to giving us this opportunity to help you aid in your success in your story, whether that's deer hunting or turkey hunting or whatever, that may be. So, so I think we're going to jump into really what this podcast is about. And that's, we're heading out of state in 2 weeks, guys?
Yep. 2 weeks.
2 or is it 3?
2.
I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks.
That we're heading to Kentucky, to some public land. So I know I've kind of got my mindset and kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to be doing, but I'm really interested to hear from from the guys because we really haven't gotten together and talked about this yet. They're like,
No.
hey, what's your game plan? When you coming up and stuff like that. So, everybody has their jobs and their daily life. So this is kind of really for us a time to catch up, really.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been several weeks. Obviously turkey season was the last, I guess, good time we were all together. So I think what we'll do is we'll let Horton kind of go into, obviously we're going to go to Kentucky. So Hunter, tell us a little bit about the history that we've got at this place.
Well, so we've been going up here for a couple years. Me and Brandon went back. I guess it's been about 4 years ago, maybe 3. We went and did a quick deer hunt for about 5 days. About got blown away by a tornado, but that's neither here nor there. Um, and really just didn't do too good. To be quite honest with you, just couldn't find them. Um, Decided to give it a break. We went back this past turkey season, and obviously, as you do turkey hunting, we put a lot of boots on the ground, covered a lot of miles, and found a lot of things.
Yes.
Seen a lot of deer.
Yes.
So we said, the way Kentucky's license work, we already have half that license. We might as well capitalize on that and go give this another shot. So I think y'all are going to go up a little before me. When are y'all going?
Yeah, so we're leaving on the 9th, which is a Wednesday. Probably, as soon as we get the kids dropped off at school, we're going to shuck out and go up there. And, we're trying not to get pinned down. We're expecting, 4 or 5 days hunt, something like that. But, it can be stretched out just according to, if we're seeing deer and stuff, 7, 8 days possibly. So pretty wide open.
Yeah. I know me and Peanut will be coming up on Friday, and that's a guy that most of the viewers haven't got to meet. His actual name is Andrew, but we all call him Peanut.
No Peanut.
Just a little nickname. He works with me and Brandon at the fire department. He has actually a YouTube channel as well. It's called Racking and Stacking. Y'all be sure to go over there and give him some love.
Racking and stacking.
Yeah.
We'll put we might put a little link in here for you if we can get that done. But
he does they do all kind of stuff over there. It's not just deer hunting, turkey hunting.
Oh, yeah.
They do predator hunting. He's actually pretty good at predator hunting. So
I
was gonna say I saw one of his predator hunts the other day, or I can't remember if it was a full hunt or whatever. It might have been a reel or something, but it's pretty cool. He's pretty good at that stuff, which is good.
Oh yeah, he sent me a text last night, a couple pictures on Snapchat. Actually, he killed a solid black coyote last night, and that's just not something you see very often.
That's cool.
No, I've seen one of those one time. I could have shot it, but I thought it was a yard dog. But,
Yeah.
Well, you're pretty good at shooting.
Those are easy now. Easy. Only if they doing stuff they don't need to be doing.
Oh wait.
Oh me. But yeah.
Anyways,
so back to Peanut.
Yeah, back to us. So we got to wrap a few things up at work on Thursday, but we're going to be getting off 6 a.m. Friday morning. We'll be hitching out together. We'll be in separate vehicles, but we're going to come link up with y'all. And then, I'd kind of talk to Brandon a little bit based on what kind of pictures we're getting and what they're doing. We may stay or we may try to go find us a new spot on some different public land, within an hour and a half driving distance, and I'll just link up there about lunch. But, game plan for me as far as going in here is obviously it's still right here on the edge of summer. It's hot. So we're going to be looking for water and food. And past couple of times we've been up here, they've had some ag fields that's actually been planted. We know they plant corn. It looks like they're planting probably soybean in some places. So, I don't know if it'll be harvested or not when we get there. That's kind of an unknown. I feel like it will have just been harvested based on, harvest rates around here. We're noticing some harvesting to start. So I feel like most of those fields will probably already be harvested, but they still may be hitting them. So that's just something that we'll have to kind of explore. And then, depending on the weather, you know, it may be fall like weather up there, and it may not be that hot. But
Gosh, I hope
Lord, I
so.
hope so.
yeah, I hope so too. Uh, but if it is, you know, water crossings and stuff like that, that's kind of uh, what I'm gonna be hunting around. I feel like I've got a few areas in my head already just from turkey season and previous hunts up there that I want to check out. But uh, plan to do a lot with cameras just to cover the most ground we can. You know.
Yeah, so I want to back up a little bit, Hunter. You were telling everybody that me and you went up there 3 years ago, and that was the first story. Again, we told you about it last week on last week's episode, but the first episode we ever really did put together on video was that episode. But I wanted to kind of get your mindset on the dynamics of why you think that hunt was such a bust.
So biggest thing I think for us is it wasn't that we were going in blind, but I would say that was our first out of state trip. And obviously for the folks out here that travel out of state, a lot of states hunt differently. We were hunting in some terrain that we've never hunted in. We're used to hunting in hills and hollers and big mountains, and you know it's so flat you couldn't roll a pencil across it. So
I was gonna say dramatically different from where we come from.
yeah. So I feel like that dynamic played a big factor. And then just we're not used to having, or I'm not. I feel like y'all are not either. Not used to having these big, couple 100-acre ag fields, and even some smaller ag fields. But just how the deer hunt. We had heard, hey, you ain't got to go deep. You ain't got to go deep. And a lot of times we were still going deep, just doing what we knew. But again, that was kind of the maiden voyage, and I feel like from then to just kind of learning more and studying more into some things and doing some more research, and then last year we went to Missouri and was very successful there. And again, back to Missouri, that gets us back into kind of our comfortable territory, though. We're back in the hills and hollers, and we're hunting how we know how to hunt. So I feel like this Kentucky hunt is kind of going to be another telltale of how are we going to do, if we're getting on deer, if we're not. And that's why I say again, if y'all haven't seen deer, I feel like it's best that we pack up and head east and get into what we know, get into those mountains, those hardwoods. That's just what we know and what we're comfortable with hunting. So I feel like if we're not seeing deer and getting on some deer, that we just need to pack up and move, and don't just beat our head against the ground, not seeing deer when I know we can do it.
Right. I'm just gonna drive Brandon crazy and ask him a bunch of questions.
Yeah, he's good at
Brandon.
He's good at
why are we not seeing Brandon? What's going on, Brandon?
Brett has this unhuman-like ability to all he's doing is getting his thought process out, but he does it in the form of a question. And I tell you, we've had some trips in the past. It's been, I've wanted to pull my hair out, and he's wanted to pull his hair out because it's just, I've been a little bit short patience, but I never really knew that it was a mindset kind of thing for you. But he'd ask like, why didn't that turkey come out? Why didn't that deer just step across? I'm like, well, hell, I don't know, Brett. Go ask him. Oh me! But
I have to work those things out loud, and I know it can be confusing.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. But I mean, Hunter, you brought up a lot of good points. I think obviously that was our first time and we've learned a lot about this property since then, just because this is, we spent a lot of days and walked a lot of miles up there back during turkey season. So, and we've kind of got a little bit of historical data now going into it with the places that we've been seeing deer consistently, and it sets up completely different than what we're used to,
Yeah.
back home in the ways that we hunt. So
Yeah, I marked I got a bunch of places that I was seeing deer in turkey season when we all split up and was roosting and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
hopefully that helps us some.
yeah. I tell you, I'm a little bit. I mean, I'm getting over it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm a little bit heartbroken. Obviously, I'm a little partial to Missouri. The
It's a
I
beautiful
really want to go
place.
back there. Do what?
Missouri is that WMA that we were on, a beautiful place.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I was really looking forward to going back there. But again, Hunter's already told y'all that the decision that we made is because the tags were there. But what I hope happens is that we can go up here and kill one or two. Hopefully this trip, and then because correct me if I'm wrong, Hunter, but we can only have one buck in the state of Kentucky,
That's
correct?
that's correct. Just one.
Yeah.
How many
So
does
what?
can we have, Hunter? Two?
The I believe it's two on a license, and then you can actually buy more doe tags. So,
Okay.
Right.
the way I read it, it's basically unlimited as long as you're willing to buy more doe tags.
Ooh.
But you can only kill one buck per season. So
Yeah.
Okay. Make it
Yeah.
make it
So
count
make
then,
it
huh?
count.
that's
Make
what
it count.
I need y'all to just go up here and let's get it done so we can go back to the glory land in Missouri. So I miss that place already. But no, I really sincerely hope we go up there and just see deer. I don't. Obviously, everybody would love to kill a huge buck, but
Well,
as
Brandon,
long as we're
I wanna hear your mindset. I wanna hear because I know you've been formulating. I know how you are. I know you've been formulating this mindset of how you're gonna attack this because I know it's
yeah,
totally different terrain. So
yeah,
obviously, like what Hunter said, this isn't this isn't our home type turf. So you went into that public land hunt in Missouri and smacked one and showed us all up. But you did your due diligence last year with a lot of your learning tactics and things like that, and put a lot of things to work. You went
yeah.
out, you tried it, and you put it to work. So kudos to you for that. But I want to know what your plan of attack is for Kentucky.
Yeah, so this is one thing that I know that the the Bucks, and that's what I'm targeting. I'm not, if I see a doe, I'm gonna smack her, but
Oh, I'm
I'm
smacking
not
too,
going
baby.
up there for doe killing. Uh, but I know that their range of travel right now is extremely small, and you're gonna have to find that bubble that they like to stay in, and that's going to be their security. So for me, I think it's going to be somewhere that's got a lot of shade. That's got water that's close by, and in my opinion, the crop fields that they have, whether or not they've been harvested or not, I think is going to be a key decision on
Yeah.
kind of what I focus on. So it's kind of hard because I don't really know obviously what the crop fields, if they've been harvested, if they've not been harvested. They could be planted in cotton for all we know. So we get up there and there's not an actual food source. So some of that stuff still kind of hinging for me on what's there and what's available. But my intention is to find those places that I feel like are hidey holes, and something that those bucks are going to have, food, shade, water, and safety, but they're not going to have to travel very far to get kind of to all of those different things. So, um, but the biggest thing for me is to not be closed minded and set in stone about I'm doing this or I'm doing that. Like the number one rule for me is just to be flexible and look for that most recent sign of I feel like this sign is here, is prevalent, is fresh, and this is what they're doing right now in this given moment. So
What does that look
Um,
like, Brennan?
well, I mean, obviously, because they're not going to be traveling that far, I feel like it's mostly going to be beds in those security zones, and the couple of places that I got in mind, I feel like right now that we've seen just from this past turkey season are places to where it kind of funnels them. If it may be in between a swamp and a road, or it may be in between this field and a property line that's growed up a little bit thicker. But for me right now, it's bedding. It's fresh browse. I want to try to find some of the fresh browse, whether it be in the crop field or in the woods, or kind of on that edge that's in between them. So for me, that's what I'm going to try to focus on, and just being flexible. Trying to hunt the field edges, or not hunt, but scout the field edges to see if that's where the sign is, or is it closer to cover, or is it closer to a food source. So
Yeah.
How how are you boys hunting? Y'all hunting elevated? Y'all hunting in your saddles?
I'm hunting elevated,
Yeah.
hunting in the saddle.
Yeah. I mean, I always, personally, I always have a seat with me. I can't even think of what them things are called. A little tree strap. Looks like a
Yeah.
piece of fabric. I always have that with me. I mean, I'll be climbing in my saddle for sure. But as Brandon will tell you, it is difficult in some areas up there. It's not set up, especially for us one stick guys. So I actually may be taking a set of full sticks with me, uh,
Yeah.
just to make this a little bit easier, because a lot of these trees have a lot of vines on them. Brett, you probably seen that, when we were up there
Yeah.
turkey hunting and climbing. It's extremely loud, whether in a climber or one sticking. When you're one sticking, it's just such a pain to move your rope and stuff. So I
Yeah.
may actually be climbing with a set of sticks and just a platform, going back to that style. But I hope to be elevated, but I've never been up there this early either. It may be so thick that it is better to sit on the ground, because um, a couple of them areas that we went in had that ivy like growth on the ground. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there's not as much ground cover down in that lower story. And then obviously, as you start getting elevated, you're going to get cut off by a lot of these smaller trees and limbs and leaves. So it's possible that we may have to be flexible, like Brandon stated, and get down a little lower. Um, so I'm coming with everything. Uh, we're
Yeah.
going that far from home. I'm coming with it all.
That's the way I am. I'm bringing everything too. I guess I'll jump into kind of what I'm thinking. I'm going to be on the ground most of the time, mainly because I don't have the versatility of the saddle. I'm not saying there's probably not any trees to climb with a climber. I'm sure there are some, but like I don't want to be limited to what I can hunt because I only have a climber. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Right.
So I'm bringing single tent, chair, big tent, and a chair. I'm bringing my tree seat, like what y'all got,
Mm-hmm.
the little thing that straps around the tree. Probably hunt out of that more than anything, and just make me a makeshift, blind out of just cover or whatever. But
Yeah,
a big reason for me to hunt off the ground is really scent. And this time of year, being warmer and stuff like that, you have a tendency to get more swirl with the winds. Less consistency, I guess I would say, with the winds when it's warmer. But really, your scent footprint is a lot smaller being on the ground than being 15, 20 foot up.
Right.
Now, if it was cut over city in South Alabama or even around here where you can climb 40, 50 feet, you can get away with a lot more. But so I'm going to stick to the ground. As far as what I'm going to look for, obviously, I think it's going to be similar to what y'all have already talked about for the most part. Shades, water source, food. Obviously, we know that. But
Yeah.
for me, I have been photographing and videoing bucks all summer long. So if y'all follow our social media stuff, y'all see some of that action that I've captured. And in doing that, you learn a lot about the animal. So just from my observing, and even the deer that I have here on my property, you know, Brandon, I tell you about that all the time. Right. You know, this is kind of what I see.
Yeah.
And it's doe family groups, and so like I know what they do, but they also raise young here.
Hey guys and gals, did you know that you could be a part of the Harmony Outdoor Podcast? Yep, that's right. If you've had any success with our deer or turkey calls, we want to hear about it. Shoot us an email to harmonygamecalls@gmail.com sharing your success story and have the chance to be featured on one of our future podcasts. All right, back to the show.
You know, bucks, obviously we all know they're in bachelor groups right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the bucks, obviously mature bucks, things like what we're looking for are not going to be with the does. Does normally bed and live closer to food and water sources than bucks. So looking for that transition, kind of like what Brandon talked about, is going to be very important to find that little hiding hole that the bachelor groups are hanging out in.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to go far.
Right.
They're just not. So that's kind of my mindset with it. But, you know, hunting on the ground, and, you know, I'm not really looking to hunt bedding areas, but I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm going up there with some cameras.
Right. Right.
And I'm actually going to scout until I feel very confident about my sit, because the first time in is really the best time. I mean, we hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Especially from some of the guys that we listen to that are very successful. So I'm going to do more scouting. I'm going to do the amount of scouting that I feel comfortable to go in and sit for the first time and feel good about actually seeing a shooter buck.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm going to whack some does too.
Yep.
So,
well, I mean, that's why I chose to send y'all on up early, you know, that way y'all can get all this done, give us some good intel, and then we can just come up and pick up the slack.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You want us to find them, you just come kill them.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think all of those are good points. I mean, the deer in general, whether it's doe family groups or bucks, I would say they're more consistent right now than they are any other time of the year, because they're only worried about, you know, the basic necessities of survival, which is food, water, shelter. You know, they don't have much pressure right now unless it's, you know, predator pressure or whatnot. So they just get in the groove, they find what's working for them, and they stick with it. And, you know, again, another subject up there is we will have the ability there to scout visually, you know, just seeing deer in some of those crop fields, seeing deer across 200 acres worth. And I mean,
that's
even
huge.
that is a great intel, because you at least know what time they're coming out, what kind of cover they're coming out of, what kind of food source they're going to. I mean, and that's just simply not something that we have the ability to do,
right?
You know, here in the homeland. So,
and that's kind of the tactic that I took, you know, with photographing and filming these bucks. If I could glass them and see them early morning and late in the evening, I mean, you know, they're not moving in the middle of the day. They're just not. Right. If they are, they're staying in their, you know, little shade zone, a cool place that they can lay down. And it's more, every time that I've found them is, you know, probably 30, 40 yards from a creek and just some thick, dense, shaded area stuff, you know. Actually got a little bit of some footage of two bedding in that scenario. But if I could find them, you know, I pretty much knew where to be the next morning or the next day to get on them and get close enough. And obviously, you know, playing wind and things like that, you know, you're going to have to, once you find them, at that point, you're going to have to figure out your access and why they're there, what they're going to, and things like that. But,
so
yeah,
answer me
I'm
this, Brett.
excited
What
about
did the bedding situation look like where you were at this past week?
Just really a lot of cane type, brushy stuff. I mean, it's, you know, I would say stuff about the size of your thumb, maybe a little bit larger, but very, like dense shaded area. Like, I mean, and when I found those bucks, they were actually laying, which I thought was very interesting. They were actually laying back to back against a log. One he was facing one way on the log, and the other one was facing the other way, which obviously gives them 360 degrees of protection, not just visually, because the visual in there was pretty tight, because a lot of the stuff was pretty short as far as the cover goes. But laying up against that log, it was really thick where they were laying, and then about probably more like 10 yards outside of that bedding was very open.
Right.
Okay. The other side where the other buck was laying and facing was a field. So obviously that's very open.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I would say maybe a 50-yard radius, thick area like that's super, super shaded. And then they're able to look out into opening. That's where the creek was on one side, the food was on the other side, and they just laid right in the middle of that. And they didn't, back to back, didn't go anywhere all day long.
Right. What about
literally all day long?
What about topography? Were they low, like in the creek bottom, or were they high? Was there any kind of topography? So they were in the bottom.
Yeah.
In the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, obviously that thermoregulation stuff that they use in pretty much all wildlife, we've learned turkeys and pine thickets. Like pine thickets are really, really good for turkey, just simply for thermoregulation, and that's a whole other subject for another day. But point being is that they rely on those places that are just super dense vegetation, a large canopy primary, and then also a large secondary canopy that's real thick, because that helps them to thermoregulate their body temperature. And then obviously that's, they're using less calories that way because they're not sweating and all that stuff too. So, but that's pretty interesting. What about wind? How were they situated to the wind? Do you remember?
I didn't really pay a ton of attention to the wind. These deer knew I was there. Not a heavily pressured area, obviously, where I'm at photographing. I'm able to get in there and observe them, but they're deer, and they're still doing deer things because obviously they have predators, coyotes, and whatnot. So it's pretty cool to get to observe them that close and in that kind of setting, to where you can get in tight and actually see what they do naturally.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see that, and just knowing that setup that they had, you're not sneaking up on them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When they're in bachelor groups like that, and they're bedding all, back to back, and look, they're like army buddies, man. Yeah, they're just back to back. I'm looking this way, you got to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we ain't got no hope then. They starting to pair up now.
Right. So, obviously, I know for me personally, I'm not looking for buck bedding areas to hunt.
Right.
I'm looking for that, travel corridor from point A to point B that I can enter without being detected, set up and hunt, obviously, without being detected.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, thermals and things like that will play into on flatland like this, just because we've never done it and never, really, put those things to work on flatland.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously it'll be something that, I think we'll have a little bit more consistent wind, not having to deal with, the ridges and all that stuff that we deal with at home. But, getting set up on the wind, obviously with, entrance and exiting both in mind with that, and traveling from that source, whether that's water, food, whatever, because, they're going to do it. At some point during the day, they're going to do it. So that's the thought process anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. And maybe I should have said a little bit different earlier, but like I want to know where the bedding is at, but I don't necessarily want to hunt the bedding, but just the peripheral of that, because again, I don't feel like they're going to be traveling, great distances right now. I feel like they're going to be bedding in a place that has, pretty much everything within a 10 or 15 acre radius. So, but it's going to be interesting. That's for sure. We'll see. This is our first early season hunt. So, there's a possibility that that hopefully we can even see or kill something that's got some fuzzies on their horn. I'm
That'd be cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be pretty cool. Pretty
Or
cool
even
to see
shedding
that.
it a little bit.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, any have y'all been practicing? You've been preparing, shooting your bows any?
Mm-mm.
No.
Y'all boys
I get it
better.
out about a week before. It's like
You
riding
better-
a bike, you know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've been thinking a lot about it, and then I have, obviously so much going on, just daily life, but
Yeah.
and plus it's still hot as crap. So
Yeah.
Yeah. The last couple of weeks though has been. I say the last couple of weeks, about the last week.
Yeah.
It's been dipping down into the low 70s, high 60s in the evenings. It's been really nice, but yeah, we need to get them out, and I'm going to try out some new broadheads. I'm still not sure really at this point what I got. One or two different things that I've got in mind, different kinds that I've got in mind, but I need to make that decision and go get them and obviously start getting ready for that. So, cause it'll be here before you know it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm probably
Be here before
going
you know it.
to break mine out this weekend or first of next week or something like that. I got a couple of different things because I need to get used to shooting and sitting down. And
Yeah,
all
that's
that
gonna
stuff.
be a whole new thing.
Whole new ball
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
So I got some areas here at the house, and I'm just gonna set some stuff up and practice.
Yeah.
Practice like I'm gonna hunt. So
Well, you got all them muscles. All you got to do is put them to use.
put them to use, my date.
They're gonna write him a ticket, bringing them guns in there.
Bringing them
Uh,
guns
yeah,
up there.
uh,
You can't be crossing
Yeah.
state lines with them guns, Barnes.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
got a damn permit for them, but I might still get in trouble. So listen, what the most important thing about this is what are we gonna eat?
Sandwiches.
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 I guarantee you, I'm
Sandwiches.
gonna have me some peanut
Pawpaw
butter
wants
and jelly.
sandwiches.
Yeah, peanut butter and jelly. It goes everywhere on a hunting trip. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna bring some. I don't know. I had some fried turkey nuggets
Yeah.
last night and today. I'm kind of itching. I may end up and bring some of that. Probably gonna end up and bring some deer meat. Just a little bit for some snacking on. We need to do some jerky, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do up some jerky. I think this will be the last batch. I got 5 pounds left, so
We're probably gonna do a big chili too,
yeah.
just in
Yeah.
case it gets cool one night.
I hope it does get cool.
I
I hope
hope
we
it's
freeze.
cool every night.
I hope we freeze to death. It's a whole lot easier to build a fire than it is to run an air conditioner, but
That's right.
yeah. Pretty cool little camping setups we got going. We hope to get some videos and stuff. Hunter and Peanut are both going to be camping out of the back of their truck. But this time, me and Brett's actually going to
Not
be
in the
setting
same
up.
truck.
Not,
Yeah, not in the
correct.
same-
Not in the same truck. But we're going to be me and Brett's going to be in a tent. You got me. It's extremely distracted right there. So, but anyhow,
Yeah, me and
we're-
Brandon are gonna be in the same tent. Though.
yeah, but it's a big tent though. It's
It
a
is
big tent.
It's a 2-bedroom.
Yeah. So, but looking forward to that. I hope we get to take some good videos, and if those are stuff that stuff you want to see, or kind of know what we do, how we run things. Obviously feel free to drop us a comment, and let us know what you're interested in. So, really
Me and
looking forward to that.
Me and Brandon's gonna have the AC running in the tent, so
Yeah.
if it doesn't cool down, Horton and Peanut might end up
You dang
snuggling
right.
up in there too.
Yeah,
Just bring your blankie and your pillow, and we'll make room for you.
that's right.
Yeah.
I got that little mattress pad. I'll just throw it on the floor.
There you go.
Anybody got any new camping gear
Well,
other than the AC?
well,
that I
I
bought?
ordered me a refrigerator cooler. It's supposed to be here today,
did?
but it's been it's been in California for the past 5 days,
Oh,
and pretty
Lord.
sure it's lost.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's about all California's good for is getting lost.
I'm disappointed in FedEx right now, but hopefully they're gonna pull it through and get the stuff together and ship it on
Horton's
out
Horton's always got the coolest stuff.
He's got the
here. Oh,
coolest
come on! You
stuff.
just bought a whole air conditioner.
Yeah.
I know,
I'm
but yours is
thankful.
a cooler, man. That's even
Well,
better.
see, the problem was y'all got all them expensive, fancy coolers and that keep ice, and all my food was just floating around in ice water. it's getting soggy. So
It makes your sandwich easier to chew up when it's already got the water in it, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm not a fan, so I opted for plan B this year.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the only other cool thing I got's a cot and a pad. So in that tent, just getting us up off the ground. So the air conditioner, and I think Brett got us a tarp to stretch over just in case it starts raining. But nothing cool on my end, new other than just a good way to sleep.
Yeah, hopefully we can do like you said. We can jump on at lunch or one evening if we're back. Just doing a scout or something, and we can kind of pop in and do a little tour my crib.
Yeah.
What was that show that used to be
Campsite
on?
Cribs.
Yep. Pimp My Cribs?
No,
or I think it was just called Cribs. MTV
it was.
Cribs. Yeah.
MTV Cribs. That was it.
Yeah. It'd take us all about 30 seconds. Here it is. All right, we out.
Yeah. Take a tour. No, it might be neat to show everybody's setup. People might be interested in that if y'all are. Just, give us a comment how we camp and things like that, and even hunting setups. I know Brandon and Horton's got these fancy saddles. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm still old school with the climber and the tents and things like that. But I talked to the wife last night. I'm probably gonna go ahead and get a saddle set up, and just because you can hunt on the ground, off the ground, whatever with it. It's so versatile, and you just strap that bad boy around you and roll out.
That's the name of the game. Versatility. Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's about going to wrap it up. The last thing we wanted to talk about was kind of what is to come. We've already discussed next episode with Mr. Ethan Floyd. We're going to try to get him on here to be the first time that we've ever gotten a guest on. So we're really looking forward to that and letting him share his good, honest experience with the grunt call thus far. And I think we're going to talk about the one after that, Mr. Brett. You want to tell them who's going to be next up on the list?
Yeah, so the plan is to have Mr. Grizz Hawk. If anybody out there doesn't know who he is, obviously you can find him on socials. Met Mr. Grizz through Instagram. He's a phenomenal photographer. He lives in South Iowa, where the big bucks live.
Iowa.
So he's got some really cool pictures we're going to share. Grizz has been featured in NWTF magazine several times, actually on the cover. Once that I know of. He may have been more, but I'll let Grizz kind of give you all his accolades. But Grizz is fun. We're gonna have to do a lot of bleeping though. He likes to. He's kind of like a sailor.
Yeah.
He likes to F-bomb it every other word. You know how the Northerners are. They F this and F that.
Him and Matt Johnson.
Him and Matt, yeah. Yeah. When Matt gets on here, we'll just have to, just one line of beep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt's like every other word.
He's
that sailor quality.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to asking him a lot of questions. And it's probably not going to be as much hunting as it is photography and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely going to be an interesting episode with Mr. Clayton. So looking forward to that.
I do want him to share his hunt from last year. He killed, I think it was over 200-inch whitetail last year.
Giant.
And so it's very cool buck, very cool story. Yeah. So I like for him to share that, and we'll share some of his pictures and stuff on here, as he's talking and discussing things, and you guys can go and look him up on Instagram, Grizz Hawk. Very cool guy. Very cool guy. We hung out a little bit with him at the NWTF show. And, man, I'm looking forward to getting back to Nashville to seeing everybody. It's kind of going to be a little bit of a reunion to see everybody again. So, and that's something that I know when we were out in Texas, Brandon Logan and some of the guys talked about, how that's, and even Grizz said that, how that's kind of like a little reunion for everybody that gets to know each other. Yeah. During that time. So a lot of good, we've met a lot of cool and very genuine people along the way.
Yeah.
And obviously we have met some that are not so much, but that's just kind of part of it. But
and that's setup day too. I mean, that's kind of when, without the crowd, we get to we get to show up and start talking to those guys. But yeah, that's a pretty cool day. I'm looking forward to February.
So, on Harmony News, we got some new stuff coming. Obviously, guys, if you'll subscribe, stay tuned, all that stuff. We got some new apparel coming. We're really excited about some new hats we got coming. And then as far as products and stuff like that go, we have some new things coming on the turkey call side of things. And, we won't get into that probably till later on in the podcast when we're going into turkey season, stuff like that. But
yeah,
we got some cool things coming. So, don't want to spill the guts right now, but we hope everybody hangs out and rides this ride with us.
yeah. Yep, it's gonna be a ride for sure. I can't wait. Hopefully a couple more weeks we'll get to start dropping some of that stuff.
Yep.
So,
y'all got anything else as far as Kentucky is concerned? Brandon, am I riding with you? Or are you riding with me?
I don't know. We still got to figure that out. Parts of me wants to ride together to save money, but the other parts wants to just make sure that we have the freedom to come and go.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with not riding with somebody or getting pinned down. It's just I just want to be flexible, and I don't want to get pinned down to an area that I don't want to hunt, or that you don't want to hunt, just because we're in the same truck. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. I think we're supposed to do a little campsite pre-setup tomorrow. Is that right?
That's right.
Kind of give it all a little test run. The air conditioner's supposed to show up today, but anyway.
FedEx must have not shipped yet.
Well, it's probably in California where you're damn cooler out there.
Hopefully they use UPS and you get it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Horton, you got anything you want to talk about? Website, products, anything like that?
Just recap. Sales still, we've still got that sale live. Brandon's got one of them orange hats on his head right now for the guys that can see it on YouTube. We've got them marked down. All the hats are now $15. That's a steal of a deal on solid Richardson hats, leather patches.
Yep.
All the T-shirts, the little bit that we still have left. We still have a decent selection of T-shirts. Hoodies are getting kind of slim.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's kind of snatching those up. Winter's coming, so we had those on a good deal. But T-shirts are down at $10, so y'all be sure to go over there and grab them while you can. Once this new merch kind of comes in, we'll probably put everything back up to normal prices. So be sure to take advantage of this. These are kind of Christmas sale prices, so little early season Christmas sale for y'all, and we appreciate all y'all support, everything this far. We just like giving back when we can.
Yeah. And the last thing I got, guys, look, we're in the process of getting all these podcasts uploaded. So if you're hearing this right now, currently, then you're just seeing it on YouTube. But we're in the process of going through another app to where we can start sharing these to, the Apple Podcast, the Spotify, all the major platforms. We're in the process, so y'all just bear with us. We appreciate everybody that supported us so far through the YouTube videos. But we are in the process of trying to get all that stuff lined up, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, so that you can start taking this stuff on the go and just popping the ear pod in and listening at work if you have the ability to do that. So just bear with us. We appreciate everybody that supported us so far, but it's a learning curve, and we're just trying to take one step at a time to get there. So
yeah, and you don't have to look at our faces either. So.
Yeah.
That's the
on
hard
my bald
part.
head.
you may enjoy it better not looking at our faces. As far as we got some new things happening kind of behind the scenes. Horton, you want to tell everybody about the transfer of the website and kind of why and what that's going to look like, why we're doing it, and kind of where we're going?
So we kind of have been toying with the idea of moving website host companies, and we've pretty much pulled the trigger on that. We're in the transition phase right now. For everybody using the website, you won't know. It'll still be www.harmonygamecalls.com. The domain's still going to be the same. You may just notice one day that there's a new look, and that's really all you're going to notice from the website use. So it will be a little bit more user friendly. We feel like the biggest bonus that we're going to have is with moving platforms, we're going to have the ability to start doing some direct integrations with YouTube and TikTok and possibly Instagram, Facebook, just some of our other platforms that everybody kind of stays on us with. So you'll have the ability just to buy directly from us through the website, but you won't have to go to the website. It'll just be a direct link.
Right.
And that just gets that use and that ease of use and ability right there at your fingertips. So we're pretty excited about that, and I feel like it's going to be a good thing. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yep. New look, new website, new logo, new branding look. So got a lot of news coming around on year number, what is this, 3? I'm still confused about what year it is.
Yeah, we're going to call it year 3.
That's what it's like getting old. You just start forgetting what year you're in. Yeah. So, our, technical full, 3rd year, it's exciting. The growth has been really, I would say steady, and at a good rate, but I know the guys know how I am. I'm pretty anxious to push forward and get on down the road a little bit further. So that's why the podcast, that's why the new look, and also the website and all those things. It's going to, like Horton said, integrate us into a more user-friendly, way of being able to purchase our products. Basically you see a short on YouTube and you can just click a button and it goes right to it and you can buy now. Same thing with TikTok Shop. Just buy now, And
you never have to leave that platform.
Right. You never have to leave that platform, because I know that's what a lot of you guys, they just don't want to leave the platform. They want to continue scrolling, buy it, hit it, whatever, and keep going. But at the same time, this is going to give us the versatility to be on Amazon, things like that. So we want to put our products where people shop, and that's where people shop these days. So that's the intentions behind that. So, but just a little recap. Next week will be Ethan Floyd, guest speaker. Brandon, I think, has got that set up. Anything you want to talk about that before we end the show, Brandon?
No, I think we've already told everyone what it's going to be about, and I want to let him tell his side of the story and it be as raw as it can be. So just make sure you tune in next week. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Ethan, I know, is a really good hunter, and he's had a lot of success especially as being as young as he is. He's killed some really nice bucks. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. Excited to hear his story. So Brandon, you want to shut us down?
Yeah. If y'all are good, I reckon I'm good. Hunter, you good?
I'm good.
All right. Well, hey guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in again this week. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, anything that you'd like to hear us talk about. We appreciate your time. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We hope you have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
See you guys.
Good deal, Lucy.
And cut.
And cut right at an hour.